Jesus, I cannot English today. It's the third time I'm starting this video. It's a beautiful morning. I have some coffee. It's raining outside. And today, if I make one course, I'm going to be happy about it. And then maybe tomorrow I can make two of them. And then with three, I'm going to be halfway done. And then I'm going to have to make another three to end. And then all I have to do to finish the courses is, well, in terms of filming, I have to also film the intros. And after I finish the intros, I'm going to be done with the entire series. And then I'm going to have to start posting, just so I can start earning more money so I can buy a studio apartment sooner rather than later. That is the goal. Unfortunately, it seems as if I don't have enough money to do it, and I don't have the necessary paperwork. I need 6 months of it, 3 to 6 months of employment, which is going to be tough because I don't like to work more than 3 months for other people. But hopefully, there will be another way to do it. Or, I don't know. I might be able to go on a cruise ship for 6 months. That would be nice because it pays more than double what I can earn here, or if not triple. So that's going to be a fun way to just get some revenue, plus the courses, which is going to really make another huge difference. So I'm gonna be able to put aside quite a bit of money. Even in the first 3 months, I'm gonna have the money necessary to buy a studio apartment, well, a down payment for a studio apartment. And the bigger the advance is, the sooner I'm gonna get rid of that pesky little what's it called? Credit. Mortgage. The pesky little mortgage. The idea is to buy something very, very cheap. Not super cheap, but kind of cheap so that I can dip my toes into having and owning a property and having a place where I can call home. And yeah, it's going to be, and I'm going to try to, because I'm taking a very, very small credit, very small mortgage, I'm going to try to do advance payments as fast as possible so I don't pay the bank a huge amount of interest. So that's great. And yeah, it kind of is something that you only get once and you get to have for the rest of your life if you pay your dues, your things, which are negligible. But it's a good investment. I should have done it like 2 years ago when I had the job, when I had the money. I could have bought it then, but I didn't really understand that you can. I understood it, but not didn't do the calculations. Like I was looking at credits and mortgages, and I knew that you can pay in advance to really get rid of the mortgage faster and pay less, but I didn't know how much less. And it turns out it's quite a bit, especially if you have a small loan and you can double or even more than double the monthly payment. You can really make a difference in how much you pay at the end of the mortgage. So I kind of have the possibility of doubling the payment every month. So for a small loan, for a studio apartment, very, very tiny studio apartment, but yeah. And it's going to be fun to do that. I'm going to have something to work for, something to grind at. And I told my friends, like, I'm doing this. I could buy something bigger, better, more expensive, but the smaller the loan, the easier it is to get rid of it faster. And not only get rid of it faster, but pay less by the end of the loan. And at the end of the loan, if you want to buy something bigger and better, you now have a bigger, uh, like, advance payment. So you can make your other loan just be with almost the same payment as this one, the smaller loan, if it's double the price, because you now have half, 50% of a down payment for the other house, which is crazy. So you've really cut the mortgage in half by having another property, and that's the point. You can go and buy a bigger thing to just have that. But usually it's better to have two properties, even though it's not very socially acceptable on the internet to have two properties. But I don't think the internet will mind if I tell them that the property that I have, it's like just a room, a bathroom, and a small kitchen. So a very, very tiny property. So it's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. That's something for very, very far in the future, like 5 to 8 years in the future, until I finish the payments on the other property. But it gives you a reason, like it gives me a reason to get a job every year for 3 months, 3, 4 months, to pay more on the house, to really get rid of the mortgage, or go in another country to get, or a cruise ship to get more income so that I can pay the house faster. I think that's a good way of doing things. It's like it really gets you thinking differently and doing different actions, because you now have something that is really building towards something greater. You have this asset instead of just spending the money on what, I don't know, food and drinks and other things that are not really necessary. Plus the, like, it's on smaller, usually on smaller properties, even though you get less rent. If, let's say, if I go away for 6 months, I'm going to rent it out. I don't think that's very socially unacceptable to rent out the property if you go on a cruise ship for 6 months. And the thing is that the mortgage is less than the rent itself. Like, on bigger properties, the mortgage is bigger than the rent itself usually. So, and the fact that even if the rent is bigger than the mortgage of the property on a bigger house, it's usually percent wise, the difference between the actual mortgage and the rent is not that big of a deal. Like on a smaller property, it's usually 10 to 15% more the the rent. And on a bigger property, if you calculate, even though the amount of money that you get percent wise on top of the mortgage might be like 5%, or if you're lucky. So that's a big difference. It's two or three times more percentage wise. And that really counts when it comes to the mortgage. That's why it's so easy to get rid of the mortgage faster. It's because whatever you do as a anticipatory payment, I don't know how to say what's the name in English. I forgot. So whenever you pay, the fact that what that payment that you make, that other payment is a bigger percentage of the mortgage, it makes it go faster because it's all about percentages. Like, let's say if you pay $1,000 and that is 0.4% of the mortgage, and then on a bigger, even though you're paying the same sum of money on a bigger mortgage, if it's just 1% of the mortgage, 0.1% of the mortgage, then you have to make so many more payments to get to 100%. You literally have to make four times more payments. So that's the point. It's easier to do a smaller mortgage, but people, I've talked and explained this idea to other people, and they are like, no, I'm just gonna buy from the start something bigger. And I'm like, it really doesn't make any sense to do that, because it's not very mathematically, it's you are paying too much money to the bank, and you end up with an asset that you've overpaid for, instead of having an asset that you kind of had for market value if you paid it very fast. So yeah, I think that's a good idea, to just get a lower amount, a lower payment. So even if something happens, you can just pay the lower amount and not give another payment on top. So it's easier for you, less stress, and faster way to build percentage equity, because it's, you might say that even in the well, not really, because I was about to say that even in the big property, if you paid $1,000, you still built $1,000 of equity. But it's not that way, because you are not taking into account the monthly payment that you are doing, and percentage, you are paying the biggest percentage of interest on the loan itself, and for a longer period of time, and thusly you are not building equity as fast as in a smaller property. And I think smaller properties sell faster in this market. I don't know. They might. But it's especially they are also bought faster. So yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But it's a good thing to build, to get a smaller loan so that you can build equity faster. I wish I had other ways of making more money so I can buy it faster. The faster I get it, the faster I pay it. Well, it's not really like that because even though I don't buy it fast, I don't have all the credentials, the paperworks. I can build some advance payment, a bigger advance payment, so that I can, so it doesn't really matter when I buy it. Even if I end up doing by next year in January, I buy it because that's what I gave myself a year. I think it was at the end of January, but or later, February, I think. So if I buy it or if I don't buy it and I'm still on a cruise ship or something like that, then I'm just building up more of an advance payment. All I have to do is not spend the money, which sometimes it's a bit tempting to just get some things, but because kind of need them or whatever. It's kind of difficult to not spend money, especially when you get some deals or whatever. But I haven't got any deals. I did, however, get a new flash because I needed it. I broke in a tripod, but that's chump change. That's $80. So in total, a flash and a tripod. So I got a new phone. So we are building to something. We are already at $200 spent that I should have kept. But I still have two cameras to sell. I cannot wait to just sell everything. And I don't know how I'm going to film myself or whatever, but I'm probably gonna just buy something for, or use my phone or use something else to just film these videos. I don't know. I'm gonna make a switch at some point. You're gonna see me without beautiful 4K image. But yeah, it doesn't really matter because does it make sense to have $2,000 of equipment for something that's not really making you money, like this YouTube channel, these YouTube channels? Because I have two YouTube channels that I post every day. One that I post two videos, the meditation videos, and one that I post one video, this video. So it's difficult to really make the excuse that I need more than $2,000 worth of equipment to, because this camera is 650, the other one is about the same, 500, and well, new it was more than 650. And then you have the light, and then you have the editing laptop, which is 1,000 as well, and the light, that's 650 times 2, that's 1.3, that's with the thing it's 150, 1,500, $2,500 for the equipment for some YouTube channels that don't produce anything. So it doesn't really make a difference. Plus this equipment is going down in value. So I'm gonna sell it, and when I decide to make something new, I'm gonna buy new equipment. But until then, I'm just gonna sell everything, and the microphones, I still have other equipment that I don't use that I should be selling as well. So that's gonna be a thing I'm gonna start to sell, but I'm gonna try to keep this microphone because it's great. I love it. And yeah, we're gonna see how this goes, how the whole thing goes. I don't know how am I going to film these videos. Well, I'm just gonna have to film them on my phone or get some rusty camera, some cheap rusty camera. I don't know. I'm gonna make a plan at some point. So I just got myself a funny little hat. You can tell it's quite big, a long cap. It's the longest. Look at this. Ta-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da, ta-da-da-da. I'm gonna shoot the video like this. Funny little hat. Paid for $3 for it. So that's quite a good amount of money to be spent. I've left for about 30 minutes already with it. So it's yeah, and it's not that big, as in it seems huge because we are used to like caps that only have just about this big of a thing. This one has just about that much more. So it's not that big. But it's funny because we are used to like caps that are so much more, so much less. A huge cap. I love it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I had a lot of fun. I didn't film any courses today just because I had to go out for a bit for about 4 hours. Well, I only had to go out for about 2 hours, and then I went out for a walk for about 2.5 hours with Sophie in the park. So, yeah, it just makes me smile whenever I have this cap on. I'm just like, yeah, the biggest cap. So funny. And I'm going to edit some videos in bed and then watch some social media and sleep. I haven't, well, I watched two reels today. So, yeah, one by accident in the morning and one that a friend of mine sent to me. So, that's just about it. I kind of cheated on that front, but it's fine. And it's not that big of a deal. Two reels is not as if I'm spending 2 or 3 hours on videos or 5 hours or more. So, probably tomorrow I'm going to start filming some courses. I'm going to start with the small ones and gradually make some more interesting ones. I'm glad you like my cap. It casts a big shadow. It puts all the shadow, all the shadows. So it's a funny little like long cap. And due to the fact that it's a wide angle lens, I can make it seem even longer. Woo! I almost fell. But like this, I can film. So I think I'm gonna just continue to do videos with only this cap. It will be my thing. I'm gonna decide if it's gonna be my thing or not. I'm gonna call it the big boy cap, the thickest cap in the business. So yeah, I think it's quite funny. I think it's quite an amazing little discovery, and I can make it like this. So so it seems a bit more nice. Funny little cap. Yeah, it's quite funny. People laugh. Well, they don't laugh, they smile. So that's interesting. It makes people's day a bit more bright. And yeah, cannot wait to wear it out again, especially if I go out drinking. That's going to be fun. I'm going to pretend like there's nothing wrong with my cap. I'm going to be like, "What do you mean it's too long? What do you mean it's long? No, all of them are like this." So, yeah, it's the small things. It's the small things you enjoy in life. They bring a lot of joy to the world. So yeah, it's just funny. Just a funny cap. I'm just a funny cap. Thank you for watching and see you tomorrow.